Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sánchez are once again turning heads. This time not in Venice or on the deck of their $500 million yacht, but in Mexico, where the glamorous couple has quietly slipped away for what looks like a blend of business, relaxation, and pure spectacle. Observers say the pair arrived surrounded by a carefully managed entourage, blending luxury with discretion, yet somehow ensuring everyone knew they had landed, because when Bezos and Sanchez step into Latin America, it is not just a vacation, it becomes a headline. The Amazon founder who wants to find the future of global shopping and the former news anchor turned helicopter pilot who now carries the aura of one of the most talked about women in the world have been spotted dining at coastal resorts, exploring private villas, and moving between events that blur the line between personal escape and public theater. Some say they are here to celebrate after the lavish Venetian wedding. Others whisper about quiet meetings with Mexican business leaders and even subtle political overtures. But what really fuels the curiosity is how seamlessly they turn every moment into a stage, from the designer outfits Lauren wears that
second marriage. The most typical thing is to sign a prenuptial agreement.
Of sleek vehicles, as if aware that every phone camera in sight is waiting for that shot. Mexico is not new to power couples, but rarely does it host a duo with this much symbolic weight. 1. The architect of trillion-dollar commerce. The other, the woman who has redefined the billionaire love story with a combination of charisma, ambition, and a relentless sense of spotlight together. They stroll beaches that suddenly feel like runways, their presence turning the ordinary into cinematic spectacle, leaving locals, tourists, and the global press equally fascinated, because when Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sánchez arrive anywhere, it is never simply a trip. It becomes an unfolding chapter in a larger story of wealth, ambition, romance, and the carefully curated image of what it means to live at the absolute peak of global celebrity. Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sánchez arrived in Mexico with the kind of presence that instantly shifts the atmosphere of any location, turning a quiet coastal escape into a global headline. Their arrival was not like the casual slip-ins of other celebrities. Instead, it carried the weight of a billion-dollar empire mixed with the aura of a romance that has captivated tabloids and business outlets alike. In Mexico, with its blend of tradition, culture, luxury, and sun-soaked scenery, provided the perfect backdrop for this next act in their public love story. From the moment their jet touched down, speculation ran wild. Was this just a vacation after the opulent Venetian wedding, or was there a deeper reason behind their choice of Latin America? Some whispered about private business dinners with resort owners and energy investors. Others pointed to the growing fascination Bezos has with Latin American markets, where opportunities in logistics and tourism align perfectly with his futuristic vision of commerce. But to the public eye, the story was far more glamorous. A billionaire in love with a woman who knows exactly how to hold the spotlight, as cameras captured glimpses of Lauren walking through resort lobbies, wearing carefully chosen designer outfits. It became clear she was curating every moment, each look sending fashion blogs into a frenzy. Her flowy dresses, in bold colors, echoed the Mexican vibrance around her. Her accessories, from luxury handbags to understated yet sparkling jewelry, told a story of effortless wealth, and her confidence radiated the kind of star power that makes even the most private Getaway feels cinematic. Bezos, on the other hand, leaned into his usual relaxed billionaire aesthetic: polo shirts, tailored shorts, sleek loafers, and the constant subtle signal that this was a man equally at home on a yacht or in a boardroom together. They projected an image of power and intimacy, a couple perfectly synchronized in their ability to live large while looking like they barely noticed the attention surrounding them. Witnesses at a high-end coastal restaurant described their dinner as both understated and extravagant. They arrived with a small circle of trusted friends, their table positioned with a panoramic view of the ocean, security close enough to manage the scene, but discreet enough not to break the illusion that this was just two people enjoying a romantic evening. Lauren leaned in, often laughing, her signature smile lighting up the terrace, while Bezos, attentive and calm, seemed completely wrapped in her presence. The couple sipped wine paired with local cuisine, savoring dishes that mixed traditional Mexican flavors with the artistry of world-class chefs. It was the kind of dinner where every move becomes a headline, Lauren lifting her glass, Bezos nodding as he listened to her words, the background hum of mariachi music blending with the sound of waves crashing nearby. The following day, social media buzzed with images of them strolling along a private stretch of beach. Lauren barefoot in a designer cover-up, Bezos carrying his shoes in hand. Their silhouettes framed by the sunset. It was an image carefully familiar, yet impossibly aspirational, reminding followers of the lifestyle they project. Effortless love in extraordinary circumstances, but behind the imagery, insiders claimed they're Mexico. Stay also included conversations about charity projects linked to education and environmental conservation, both causes that resonate deeply in the region and align with Bezos' larger narrative of responsibility beyond business. Some reports suggested they were exploring partnerships that could combine luxury tourism with sustainability, echoing Bezos' vision for space. But applied here on Earth, the trip also reignited curiosity about their dynamic. As a couple, Lauren often seen as the extroverted spark who thrives in front of cameras and conversations, while Bezos the visionary thinker who radiates calm intensity together. They reflect a balance that fascinates the public, because in Mexico, where culture is rich and layered, their energy seemed to mirror that rhythm. Lauren embracing the social side, interacting with locals, waving at fans, smiling as if she had always belonged there, while Bezos remained the anchor, providing the steady presence of one of the most powerful men alive. Yet softened by love, their relationship continues to inspire debate. Is Lauren the woman who transformed Bezos into a more open, charismatic figure? Or is Bezos the man who gave Lauren the stage? She was always destined to claim Mexico seemed to amplify those questions. Every move, every outfit, every dinner choice transformed into a larger metaphor about wealth, celebrity, and influence for locals. Their presence was a curious spectacle in towns where international celebrities occasionally appear, but rarely on the scale of a couple who command global attention. Some described it as surreal one moment, walking past familiar cobblestone streets. The next, realizing Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sánchez had just entered a nearby boutique, their entourage trailing behind, whispers spreading instantly through the crowd, photos snapped discreetly on phones spreading through Twitter and Instagram within minutes. And yet, despite the buzz, Bezos and Lauren carried themselves as if unaffected, maintaining an aura of grace as though being watched was simply the natural state of their existence. And perhaps it is for when you live in a world where your wedding rivals, royal pageantry, and your yacht sails like a floating palace, every trip becomes a stage, and Mexico was their latest set. Analysts watching their movements were quick to note how Lauren's influence continues to shape the public narrative around Bezos in Venice. She was the bride who turned a wedding into a global fashion spectacle. Now in Mexico, she was the muse transforming a getaway into a cultural conversation. The question lingered, is she simply enjoying the lifestyle? Or is she strategically building their brand together as one of the most visible couples of our time? And with Bezos at her side, there is no doubt that every carefully staged image is also a message, a reminder of power, love, and the ability to command attention without saying a word. From private villas overlooking turquoise seas to whispered sightings at exclusive art galleries, their Mexico journey unfolded like a slow-release film. Every day, another chapter, every moment, a scene feeding the endless curiosity of those who follow their lives. This was not just about two people in love. It was about the story they continue to tell, a narrative of resilience after scandal, of reinvention after divorce, of love reborn in the glare of global attention. Mexico became another page in that unfolding saga, a reminder that for Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sánchez, every trip, every dinner, every stroll is not just personal. It is part of the legacy they are carefully crafting together. Just weeks after their headline-making wedding, Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sánchez Bezos shifted the spotlight from European canals and luxury yachts to the cobblestone streets of Mexico City, choosing the colorful district of Coyoacán for one of their most surprising public appearances. The world had just watched them celebrate their union in Venice, surrounded by fireworks, celebrities, and a display of wealth that rivaled royal pageantry. But here in Latin America, the couple stepped into a scene that was strikingly different and yet equally captivating to their global audience. Coyoacan, with its bohemian charm, vibrant plazas, and historic landmarks, offered a background that spoke of history and art rather than extravagance and opulence. And for many, this shift was not just about geography, it was about symbolism. Because only days earlier, the couple had faced a deeply personal family loss, and their appearance in Mexico was seen by many as a way of blending mourning, healing, and the continuation of their shared narrative as they walked hand in hand through the narrow streets lined with colonial buildings painted in hues of red, yellow, and blue Bezos. And Lauren became the center of a spectacle that no one had anticipated. The locals, who usually see artists, students, and families wandering these plazas, suddenly found themselves brushing shoulders with one of the richest men in the world, and his glamorous wife Lauren's presence was magnetic. Her flowing attire casual, yet unmistakably high fashion caught every camera lens. Her smile effortless, but calculated, as if she knew the importance of this moment in shaping how the world would perceive them after their wedding. Bezos, in a simple polo and jeans, looked every bit the man content to play the grounding role, allowing Lauren to radiate. Yet together, their synchronicity was undeniable. They walked with a rhythm that suggested unity, pausing to admire murals, greeting onlookers with small nods, stopping briefly at local cafes where whispers of disbelief spread like wildfire, and every phone in sight discreetly angled for the perfect shot for paparazzi. The day was a gift, a rare chance to capture the couple in a space far removed from staged yachts and red carpets, and those images would later dominate tabloids across continents. Headlines marveling at the sight of Bezos and Lauren among the same plazas where street vendors sold crafts and musicians strummed guitars. It was not just about the visuals, though. It was about the narrative. Here was a couple navigating a new chapter after a wedding that screamed power and influence, and after grief that reminded them of fragility, now grounding themselves in a place that echoed art resilience. And authenticity. Coyoacan became the lens through which their next chapter was viewed. The symbolism was not lost on cultural commentators, who pointed out that Coyoacán is more than just a tourist destination. It is a district tied to revolution and creativity, a place where Diego Rivera and Frida Kahlo shaped art and identity. And for Bezos and Lauren to walk those same streets sent a message, perhaps intentional, perhaps instinctive, that their love story was not just about wealth. It was about placing themselves in the middle of history and culture, a reminder that legacy is written not only through business empires or weddings on yachts, but also through the quieter moments that resonate with human experience. In that sense, their Mexico appearance felt strategic. It softened their image, it connected them with cultural depth, and it offered fans something different to talk about, something more relatable than billion-dollar headlines. Yet for all the symbolism, there was still spectacle. Lauren's fashion choices for the day became instant talking points across social media. Her accessories, her sunglasses, her choice of handbag, every detail dissected by fashion blogs that praised her ability to look both casual and untouchably. Elegant Bezos, too, found himself the subject of analysis. His understated look seen as deliberate, a signal that even the richest man alive could walk cobblestones like everyone else together. They curated an image that seemed to whisper, "We are in love, we are grieving, we are living, and we are human." Even as the cameras clicked relentlessly as the couple toured local landmarks, including the iconic Frida Kahlo Blue House Museum, eyewitnesses described the energy shifting whenever they entered. A room, Lauren would pause to take an artwork, leaning toward Bezos to share her thoughts. Their conversation private but visually magnetic, Bezos listening intently, nodding, sometimes smiling at her remarks. Their chemistry visible in the smallest of gestures, while security kept a respectful distance. Locals looked on in awe, some daring to approach for photos, others simply content to capture the moment from afar. The presence of Bezos and Lauren in such a culturally sacred space felt surreal. Yet it also felt strangely fitting, as though their modern narrative of power, love, and reinvention had found a temporary home in the echoes of Mexico as artistic history. The visit was also deeply personal for them. Insiders suggested that their choice to be in Coyoacán so soon after a family loss was not accidental. Grief often drives people toward spaces of reflection and meaning. And for Bezos and Lauren, the energy of this district may have offered solace. A reminder that life continues, that love persists, and that beauty can emerge even after sorrow. For Lauren especially, whose personality thrives in social connection and symbolic gestures, being seen walking hand in hand with Bezos through those colorful streets was both an act of resilience, and a public statement of unity. Audiences online were captivated by the duality of it all. One side of the story showed wealth, glamour, and spectacle. The other side revealed humanity, vulnerability, and the quiet search for healing. And perhaps that balance is exactly why the world cannot look away from Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sánchez. Because they are not only the embodiment of wealth and power, they are also a reflection of very human emotions amplified on the grandest stage. Possible, their presence in Mexico became proof that even the most powerful figures still seek meaning, still seek beauty, and still seek comfort in the simple act of walking together under the sunlit sky of a bohemian plaza for Mexico. The visit was a reminder of its own place in the global imagination, a country that blends history with modernity, culture with glamour, tradition with reinvention. And having Bezos and Lauren wander through its streets brought a kind of validation that Mexico is not just a destination, it is a stage worthy of the world. Attention. And the couple gave it that spotlight without taking away its authenticity. As the day ended and Bezos and Lauren departed back to their private villa, whispers and speculation continued. Were they here only for healing and cultural exploration? Or was there also an underlying agenda where business meetings, quietly scheduled behind the scenes, were philanthropic projects being discussed? Was this trip yet another step in weaving their public image into a global narrative? No one could say for certain. But what was clear was that Coyoacan had become etched into the story of Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sánchez, a chapter where love, grief, and culture intertwined on cobblestone streets, and where the world was once again reminded that this couple knows how to turn every movement into a moment. Just weeks after their lavish wedding in Venice, Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sánchez Bezos shocked fans by trading yachts and red carpets for Mexico's cobblestone streets, plazas, and ancient landmarks. Their journey began with luxury dinners by the coast and romantic strolls along private beaches, but quickly expanded into cultural immersion in Mexico City. From walking hand in hand through the bohemian district of Coyoacán after a family loss, to visiting the Frida Kahlo Museum, to exploring the pyramids of Teotihuacan and bustling local markets, the couple blended spectacle with sincerity. Lauren dazzled in carefully chosen designer outfits, while Bezos kept a low-key style, together creating a balance of glamour and relatability. Their presence sparked fascination worldwide. Were they in Mexico simply for love and healing, or also for business, philanthropy, and brand building? Every move fed speculation. Rooftop dinners with power players, whispered charity meetings, intimate gestures in public spaces. Mexico became more than a backdrop. It became a stage where the couple reinvented themselves, showing resilience after loss, unity in love, and a curated mix of humanity and grandeur.